Peace, peace, peace. This is Brother Faheem. You are now tuned in to the Lead with Logic podcast. Hey, y'all know the vibes. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Lead with Logic podcast. I'm your most gracious and humble host, Brother Faheem. Welcome, welcome back. Man. So excited to have you all. Listen, life moves at such an ultramagnetic pace. I always try to keep my boots laced so that I can do what? So that I can win the race. Man, so much going on in the world, so much going on in the world. For those of you guys who it might be you guys' first time here, guess what? Y'all are in for a treat. Like I said, I am Brother Faheem, and I am your most gracious and humble host. And here at the Lead with Logic podcast, what we do is take the controversial, the sensational, and the mundane, and through objective data, right? Peer-reviewed journals, articles, literature, books, documentary clips, interviews, all those great things. We now extract the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that you can live life in 3D and your enlightenment can be enhanced. Man, this is a brand, a saying, and a podcast, you guys. That's right. It's a triple threat. The brand Lead with Logic is an acronym, right? Letting enlightenment and divinity win in this harsh level of God's infinite creation. Yes, that is what Lead with Logic stands for. That is the brand. Uh, www.leadwithlogic7.com, www.leadwithlogic7.com. That is the place where you can get the hats, hoodies, and tees, and whatever else you please. I'm going to post that on the screen so you guys can visit, go over there, look at what we have. We got all your colors, we got what you need. Listen, we always talking about being pro-black, but we spend we spend our green elsewhere. So spend with your brother, man, before you do with the other man. You dig? Yes, every Monday night, right here on the Lead with Logic YouTube channel, you can find me. You dig what I'm saying? Listen, if you're on Facebook, please post it to your page, send it out in your messages, your DMs, you know, send it out to 20, 30 people. The more the merrier, so they can come on in and comment. And if you're on YouTube, please copy the link and send it out to 10 of your friends, 20 of your friends, however many you think would love to come in, because we'd love to have them. We would love to chat. So just sit back and chill wherever you at. Man, so much going on. So much going on. Summer almost over, y'all. And y'all believe it? The summer is almost over. It's flies everywhere. I don't know about y'all where y'all at, but damn, it be flies all over the goddamn place. Anyway, yes, summer is almost up. The kids have to go back to school. They're not excited about that. I know you guys are, so they can get out y'all's hair. Man, wonderful. Now, what has been going on? What's been going on in the world? Well, the big thing that I heard about was the Essence Fest. Essence Festival. Yes, the Essence Festival happened. And it was a little bit of a kerfuffle. It was a little bit of a uncomfortable conversation that was had around the Essence Fest. And I thought it was quite interesting because I said to myself, wow, what's going on with Essence? Well, they're saying that the Essence Fest has kind of been culturally appropriated, right? From the reports that I read, from I think from everything that I heard, right? People did not like what was presented. Now this is you have to be careful because this is a delicate matter, right? And it's pretty nuanced and complex. Now, a lot of people heard what Stephanie Mills said. Stephanie Mills came out and she made some statements, and I'm gonna let you guys hear what she said. Lauren Hill did as well, made some statements, and their statements were more about production and quality of, you know, how Essence as a organization was conducting this business. Their technical expertise, you know, the timing. So they dealt with more of those aspects. It wasn't really cultural. It was more or less technical and production based. Now online, it was more social based, right? It was more cultural. What do I mean by that? Well, Stephanie Mills was critical because of the way they ran their business, right? She was critical because of the way they ran their business. Now, as was Lauren Hill. Lauren Hill had some issues with that as well. Now, the online people, right? The ones in the peanut gallery, those people who had the criticisms, who were complaining, and some people who attended Essence Festival. I saw that, right? I read where a couple people were pissed off about what they had just endured, what they had just experienced. Theirs was more cultural, right? They had an issue with Africans taking over the Essence Fest. That was their complaint. Hey, this is a black owned fest. What are those Africans doing taking over the Essence Fest? Who do they think they are? Essence belongs to black people, black American people. We don't want to see Tim's. We don't want to see Buju Banton. We don't want to see none of that. We want this to be black American exclusively. We want all of this to be exclusively black American, and anything else is unacceptable. And I said, wow, that's interesting that we would take up that position. Huh. That is interesting. So I figured I'd look into it and see what the real deal was. You know, uh, 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 grab a drink and sit and think. You dig what I'm saying? Ponder on it a little bit, wrap my mind around it, and I did. And what I came up with, I would like to share it with you guys. Wrote a song about it. Like to hear it go. No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. But I did do a little research into what what some of the major concerns were, and I'm gonna start off with this. I'm gonna start off with this. Like I said, this is the first that I heard of it. Before I get into something else, I'm gonna show you Richard Rich Richelieu Dennis. And I believe the brother is Liberian. He's Liberian American, right? And what's going on, Mystic? He's Liberian American. He is the owner, right? And then the one of the other owners is what's her name? Caroline Wanga, right? And it's very important. I thought it was important to bring up Caroline Wanga. She's Kenyan, right? That's East Africa. She's from East Africa. But nonetheless, Mr. Dennis went on the Breakfast Club and he kind of addressed a lot of what was being discussed, right? He kind of went over it, and I thought that was pretty dope, right? It was pretty dope what he had to say. And so I'm gonna let you guys. This army too. That's what's up. We got two people in here. That's good. So more people to come. There'll be 100 people in here before y'all know it. But yeah, I want to give you guys a little bit of context around what we're gonna be discussing because it's a super nuanced issue, right? It's super nuanced, and it's not new, brothers and sisters. This is something it's been around uh, for as long as I am old, and I'm 44. So ice cold. I see you, bruh. I see you. Come on in, man. Come on into the building. Step right on in. That reminds me. Let me do this while it's on my mind, man. The older I get, I start forgetting shit, man. I forget things quick, real quick. So there we go. Listen, leadwithlogic7.com. Again, leadwithlogic7.com. I'm going to leave it posted right there so that you guys can visit the site and check some of that merch out. You dig what I'm saying? Like this lovely Lead with Logic shirt I got on right here. It's a nice hat. Yeah, man, Lead with Logic. Hey, we got it all. But yeah, let me play this for you. This is what Stephanie Mills had to say. This is what I first heard, right? She was the big draw. Everybody was like, "Oh, Stephanie Mills speaking out." against Essence Fest, and people were building on that, right? Now, initially, I thought she was gonna say some ignorant shit. I thought she had kind of fed into this whole African American drama that is probably won't go nowhere, right? And I'm thinking like, oh wow, they done sucked uh, the sister, our elder. She's an elder, really, legendary elder, Stephanie Mills. Dated Michael Jackson, close to Minister Farrakhan. Just a staple. Feels good all over. I forget her other hit. She sang "Feel the Fire." What else did Stephanie Mills sing? Y'all put it in the chat. But nonetheless, she's a legend. She's one of our legends. And this is what she had to say. Charlemagne the God is going to read out what she said. Check it out, y'all.
I read the open letter that Stephanie Mills wrote, and I love
God
Stephanie
bless her.
Mills.
God bless her.
I
God
love
bless her.
Stephanie Mills, and what she said was, she's a professional. This is an OG veteran in the game. She said the challenges I encountered were multifaceted, and in my view, indicative of broader organizational shortcomings. The scheduling and time management were severely lacking, creating a chaotic and stressful environment backstage. This disorganization cascaded onto the stage, impacting the flow of the event and ultimately diminishing the quality of the performances. Then she got into the logistical issues. And she said beyond the logistical issues, the technical difficulties, which is what we just talked about, the sound system.
Right.
She said all of that was deeply problematic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she said it. There's
Yes. Real quick. This is something real quick. But now, what I want you to notice, what she said was basically, again, technical based. What she didn't say was anything cultural, right? She didn't feed into any of the dumb shit, right? She didn't get into any of the foolishness, right? Any of the online rhetoric that's out there, any of that narrative. She said nothing about it being too African. She said nothing about Essence losing its face, losing its origin story. She said none of that. She just said, listen, as a performer, I thought that it was super unprofessional because they didn't get some things done. Certain things didn't happen, which caused uh performances to not go as they could and should. That's what Stephanie Mills said, right? It wasn't anything super duper based in culture. Nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. And I see you. I see you. Yes, sir. You really put a rush on me. I remember that joint. Now, we're just gonna go through some facts before I give my narrative. Again, what I like to do, you guys, is I like to do this thing with facts. I do not like to I'll give you my personal perspective at the end, but I want to give you guys what people. She did sing home. She did sing home. She was actually, she sang home. She sure did. She did sing home. That's the truth. From the Wiz. That's right. So now, let me do this. Let me do this before I do that. Now, what I'm getting ready to read to you guys, is a newspaper, online article, right, from 4WWL, the news, right? And it's going to kind of go into what was going on, right? Essence Fest wraps up amid changing tides in festival attendance. Some notice smaller crowds, but Essence isn't the only one experiencing a dip. Essence Festival has officially come to a close. If the long lines at Louis Armstrong Airport are any indication, thousands came, celebrated, and are now heading home with memories in tow. I had an amazing time, one visitor said. We saw Jill Scott, Patti LaBelle, Jasmine Sullivan. You hear that? Jill Scott, Patti LaBelle, Jasmine Sullivan. That's right there, right out the gate, right? There's some Black American acts. But while the energy in the city was high, this year's Essence Fest may not have drawn the crowd it's known for. Entertainment reporter for our partner, The Times, Picayune Keith Sparrow, noted a noticeable dip in turnout across the entire weekend. I've seen slow individual years before, Sparrow said, but I've never seen a fest where all 3 nights were clearly off. Just about every night, most of the terrace level at the top of the dome was empty. And those seats are actually where 60% of the seats for Essence are located. Some festival goers noticed it too. It was a little less stellar than I thought it'd be, one visitor said. In past years, it was very, very well. This time, it was a little disorganized. But I still had fun and enjoyed the artists. Spirit points to a lack of major headliners and a shifting audience demographic as possible factors. A shifting audience demographic as possible factors. That's that whole African, right? That's that whole, you read between the lines that they're trying to say more Africans were in attendance. Essence really didn't have one of those big stadium size acts this year. There was no Beyonce, there was no Drake, there was no Janet Jackson or no Usher. Nothing like that, Spirit said. Also, they're kind of caught between the original generation of Essence fans, the old group, right? And a new generation, right? So they're trying to walk that fine line of still catering to the old fans while attracting some new fans. And they haven't always been successful doing that. Pause. That's very important. I'm going to read that again. They're trying to walk a fine line of still catering to the old fans while attracting some new fans. And they haven't always been successful with doing that. Let me tell you something. You know, if you're going to stay around for something, you're going to have to remain relevant. That means you're going to have to rebrand yourself, right? You're going to have to rebuild yourself. I'm going to give you a person that everybody loves that has rebranded and rebuilt themselves over decades. That's Ronald Isley. Ronald Isley started out with Motown singing "You Make Me Want to Shout." In the 70s, he was Between the Sheets. In the 80s, he was Living for the Love of You. In the 90s, he was Mr. Biggs, right? He's rebranded. My point is this: in business, if you're trying to attract or, you know, if you're trying to attract or draw in another audience, man, you're going to have to do some things that are going to maybe step away from that original audience, right? You're going to have to do that. And what individuals do, so do communities, so do nations, so do organizations. And that's what that's breaking down, right? So what I'm trying to say is this: when you see those African acts, listen, let's not play like we don't listen to Tim's, right? Let's not play like we don't listen to Bob Marley. Let's not play like we don't listen. I forget the cat, man. It's a lot of Make Me Sweat, Make Me Harder. Let's not act like we don't listen to that. Let's not act like we wasn't singing Anxiety just last week. That chick's not Black American. That's an African chick. Right. So what's the issue, Black people? What y'all crying about? But let me move forward. Let me keep going because I'm gonna show and prove some more stuff to you, right? Essence isn't alone. According to NOLA.com, this year's Jazz Fest saw 40,000 fewer attendees compared to 2023. So this is not something that is just Essence. This is not like, oh, they have shifted. They're catering to other than its original audience. Now they're suffering. Now people are quitting on Essence. Y'all are catering to them damn Africans, and now we not going. Y'all done forgot this is a Black thing. Right? Black people run this, and that's why it's dipping. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. A report by CNN also highlights that festivals nationwide are feeling the pinch. Spears says the economy and rising costs of festivals could be a part of the problem. It's not cheap, especially if you're going to travel to a festival and pay for airfare and gas and hotels and then tickets to the event, Spears said. It adds up really, really quickly. While these dips aren't catastrophic, Spirit believes that festival organizers will need to make adjustments. He says, fortunately, many New Orleans festivals have a built-in advantage due to the city's deep bench of local talent. But for national draws like Essence, keeping longtime fans engaged while evolving to reach new ones will be the key. Right? They've got to make it a good experience for the attendees, and that's how you get people to come back. So what we see that I want to show y'all something, right? Number one, what do we see? We saw that it's not just the Essence Festival that saw a dip. So let's get that BS out of here, like them changing or them catering to Africans was the reason why Black Americans didn't go. No, we are in hard economic times, and airfare, hotel, getting there is an issue, right? That big beautiful bill is busting people's asses, and it's hitting people in the pockets. These extra funds, people don't have them, brothers and sisters. We do not have them anymore. So yeah, that's one of those luxuries that has to be shaved off, right? But also, did you see it said they were walking a fine line between catering to the old and attracting the new? See, these young people ain't listening to the music like that no more. We live in a more international time. We do. It's more international. And if they are Afrobeats artists, Ice, if they're gonna keep up, if Essence is going to stay relevant, they're gonna need to adopt and conform to some of that. Yeah, they're gonna need to get some of those acts. Why not? Y'all listen to them in your car, you sing them in your shower, you dance to them at the wedding. What's the problem? But we're gonna go into some more stuff. The late great James Brown, I don't know if y'all saw it. Chadwick Boseman, he said something beautiful in that movie, Get On Up. He said, it's two parts, brothers and sisters. That's my James Brown voice. It's two parts, brothers and sisters. You got the show and you got the business. Now, I can handle the show, but you better believe I'm on top of my business. Now, we're gonna get into a little bit deeper into the business aspect of what we are seeing, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Listen, if you are not familiar with ChatGPT, please get familiar with it. Please get familiar with it. You can do a lot with ChatGPT. You can update your resume. You can code things, right? You can create photos. It's just so much beautiful things you can do, brothers and sisters. I hope that y'all get up on this. I want to bring a little bit about y'all. I want to bring a little bit of information about Mr. Dennis and also Mrs. Wenger, because again, a lot of people came out saying things like, oh, and I'm gonna get to y'all's comments. Y'all keep on commenting. The 5, look, we're an army of 5. Look, and that ain't no job. Hey, y'all make sure y'all are commenting, please, wherever you are. Do that, because remember, you are a star. I'm just having fun now. But yeah, y'all say what's up, man. I see 2 people are on here. It's 3 more. We got 3 more. Y'all say what up, man. I ain't gonna bite unless you want me to. But I this is just a gee whiz question, right? Who, what, when, where, and why. Critical analysis, critical thought, things to think about before you just adopt the group thing, before you just go with what the group mentality is. So I just put in there, who owns and runs Essence? Essence Ventures, LLC, Black-owned holding company, founded by Richelieu Dennis. I hope I'm saying his name right. The entrepreneur behind Shea Moisture. And me and my family will be messing some Shea Butter up. In January 2018, Dennis acquired Essence Communications, the publisher of Essence Magazine, from Time Inc., restoring its status as 100% Black-owned. Pause. That's more than what we can say for BET, ain't it? Right? That's more than what we can say for BET. See, again, this is funny. People will now criticize Essence for its acts, right? They'll say it's lost its original base. They'll say it's lost its original personality. But what about BET? BET is owned by Viacom, and it absolutely lost its original personality, right? Tavis Smiley was removed from BET. That brother who used to do the news, light-skinned brother, he was removed. All of the meaningful, beneficial stuff, the things were removed from BET in the same way that people are claiming Essence removed its original programming, its original acts. They've done that on BET, but your asses still support BET. You still watch the BET Awards. Right? And by the way, it's primarily Black women who support BET. But I'm going to show you. Anyway, but I digress. The day-to-day running of the company is overseen by Essence Ventures, helmed by Dennis as its founder and executive chair. Michelle Ebanks, who previously served as president of Essence Communications under Time Inc., continues on as president of Essence Communications within Essence Ventures. As executive leadership evolves, other key figures like Caroline Wenger, interim CEO in 2020, and Danielle Cadet, editor-in-chief since 2022, have taken on prominent roles in guiding editorial direction. Now, I mentioned Miss Wenger because I got a clip I'm going to show you guys of her, and some people distorted the clip, but I'm gonna let you see it. So, owner and parent, that's a little bit more information, right? This is public information, y'all. Founder and chair Richard Liu also co-founded Shea Butter. Y'all get y'all some Shea Butter. It's better for your skin than that Vaseline that you're using. President of Essence Communications, Michelle Ebanks. Editorial, Danielle Cadet, editor-in-chief. I just wanted to go in because, again, this guy, a lot of the complaints, you see what I put? Who was the Liberian owner of Essence? Because a lot of the complaints were, oh man, Essence is going away from African American, right? This is important. Watch this. He was born in Liberia and later immigrated to the U.S., where he co-founded Sundeal Brands. I hope I might not be saying that right. The company behind Shea Moisture and other personal care products. In January 2018, his firm, Essence Ventures LLC, acquired Essence Magazine and his lifestyle brand from Time Inc., making it fully Black-owned and under Liberian American ownership for the first time in nearly 20 years. So here it is. Essence wasn't even owned by Black folks, right? It wasn't 100% owned by Black folks. Here, a Liberian American man comes in, purchases it, and he's helping. He's helping Black entrepreneurs. He talked about that. He did an interview. Like I said, he did an interview on, like I showed y'all, he did an interview on The Breakfast Club addressing the FBA versus Africans, addressing the low attendance, addressing the economic issues that happen, addressing those technical issues that Lauryn Hill and Stephanie Mills said made it a problem. He talked about all that. But my point is, brothers and sisters, white folks, other than external entities, other than Black people, owned Essence. A brother came in and restored it. And you already saw where there were 3 acts that were Black American, right? I just want y'all to see that and remember that before y'all feed into that. Well, I'm going to keep going. So the Liberian behind Essence Magazine is Richelieu Dennis, an entrepreneur and philanthropist leading Essence Ventures. Let me know if you, again, these are my questions, right? How has the Essence Fest been attendance-wise since Richelieu Dennis took over? Here's an attendance preview of the Essence Festival of Culture since Dennis's Essence Ventures took ownership in 2018. So in 2018, 510,000 attendees over 4 days, a record at the time, with all 3 Superdome concerts sold out. That was 2018. Record attendance. 2019, over 500,000 attendees for the 25th anniversary celebration. That's still a high number. 2022, of course. 2020, of course, it was canceled. We all know we had that little pandemic that went on, right? COVID. 2021 returned in a limited virtual format with an in-person attendance paused. 2022 attendance rebounded to around 500,000 plus, with major headliners like Mary J. and Nicki Minaj. And by the way, before I go forward, Essence is a magazine that is really geared toward Black women, right? If y'all didn't know that, you had Ebony. When I was a kid in the 80s, these were the staple magazines for Black people. When we went over to people's house and we would, play with the kids in the back, the parents would be up front talking shop. They had the coffee table. And there were always 3 magazines on the coffee table, right? You had the Ebony magazine, right? That was more informal, right? It was more news. It was news about local things, but it was also national news too, about different celebrities and what they were doing, how they were involved with the NAACP, the Urban League, different things like that. Then you had Jet magazine. Jet was a little bit like Ebony, right? Except with Jet magazine, it had them beauties of the week we used to look at. We used to look at them Jet beauties. This is Cheryl. She's from DC, and she liked the rollerblade. We would look at them beauties of the week. And then you had Essence, and Essence was almost the feminine divinity oriented. It was like, I remember the sister on Essence. What I remember was she had them braids, and they would always sparkle. She just looked like an elegant, a Black Glinda the Good Witch, right? That's how immaculate she looked. Not to say that Glinda was immaculate looking. Lena Horne's Glinda. Let me say that, right? So y'all won't throw no tomatoes at the screen. Lena Horne in The Wiz is Glinda. That's who she reminded me of. But it was those 3 magazines that a lot of Black people that you all remember on the coffee table, right? But Essence was the one that was geared toward women. There were more articles about women in Essence. So 2023, slight dip to approximately 450,000 attributed to broader economic pressures, right? This is the dip, right? It doesn't say anything about cultural. It doesn't say anything about disapproval because of a cultural display of culturally different or culturally irrelevant entertainment. It says economic issues. 2024 recovered to an estimate 480,000, coinciding with its 30th anniversary. Now, here we go. 2025 experienced a noticeable drop with smaller crowds than in recent years. Organizers cite economic constraints and increased travel costs, though no official total was released. Some social media reports and vendor concerns echoed the sentiment. So, see, the vendors, those people who were paying to sell their products, right? They were saying, look, we can't pay vendor spot, hotel, and airfare. That's a bit much in these harsh economic times, in this big, beautiful bill of a economy that we are living in, right? Summary trends. Attendance surged to historic highs post 2018. This is since Mr. Dennis has taken over. Upwards of 500,000. Pandemic impact 2020 in person pause 2021. It was virtual. Back on track 2022 through 2024, maintaining strong 450 to 500,000 attendees. Decline this year softened, possibly trending toward lower end of that range, 400 to 450,000, based on qualitative reports. I'm not going to even go over key takeaways. I'm going to say this. There's the show and there's the business. And oftentimes, brothers and sisters, what is a trifle severe is that we don't consider both of those when we make these conclusions, right? We listen to the peanut factory and we just go with it, right? That's why I tell you, you need to do your homework. Do your homework. The missus always says, the person that doesn't pay attention pays twice, right? The person that doesn't pay attention pays twice. I would add on to that. The person who doesn't do their homework is going to continue to pay, right? Because you can be told anything, but that's not it. Wait, there's more. Oh, and listen, I see we have seven people out there now. That's my favorite number, y'all. That is the supreme being, the divine black man. I love that number. Woo! It ain't 7 and 11. That is the supreme black man, Allah, God. Yes. Let me read some of you guys' comments. He put, yes, sir. That's my big brother Ice back home in the shop. You really put a rush on me. I think that's what you're talking about, Ice. You talking about Stephanie Mills' Home. Yep. I kind of like Diana Ross's rendition better though, Mystic. Yeah. If you listening, God, please don't make it hard. I love that part. I love when she said that. Uncle Charlie from the Gap Band. Mm-hmm. Most of the new actors are not African American, so-called. You talking about Idris Elba, Damson Idris, the brother from Get Out. He was in Black Panther, right? Absolutely. Afrobeats artist. Yep. You talking about the artist when I was talking about how it was shifted. Saving money and anticipating hardship. That's right. That's right. These fools online, they not thinking about that, right? When they think about low attendance, right? They're not saying anything about that. Teen Summit 106 in Park was a vibe. Hey, I was a little bit older when 106 in Park came out. I was in my 20s by then. But Teen Summit, I was a teen. And I really appreciate Teen Summit because Teen Summit did something that we hadn't seen on television since the 80s. It really took and drew young people in and then began to discuss those relevant issues that they might not be discussing with their parents, and their friends might be too young and inexperienced to discuss. Teen pregnancy, teen STI and STD accrual, right? Peer pressure, right? The importance on academic advancement and not just athletic advancement, right? Steering clear of illegal criminal activities, right? The fallacy that exists within the rap game, gangster rap, right? These were all topics that Teen Summit dealt with. 106 in Park was just cool because it had a free was finer than frog hair. But it was, I like Rap City when they was freestyling on there, right? That was my shit when they used to freestyle on Rap City. It was a couple of them that killed that shit. I wasn't aware he owned. Yeah, he does. Yep, Mr. Dennis, he sure does. What's going on? Once I see you, I see you, I see you. 80s baby. I'm definitely an 80s baby, man. I'm right at the top of the 80s. Essence, Ebony and Jet. That's what was on the coffee table, Mystic. That was it. Mama kept those in the house all the time. Absolutely. I was always looking at the Jet Beauties. I wanted to see, the Jet Beauties of the week. Beauty, yeah. I was like, ooh, Jet Beauties was fly. Super fly. Super fly. They were nice. They were real nice. But moving on. But I digress. Now, I'm gonna get into who I want to show y'all show you this little clip. I'm gonna show you this clip. I appreciate y'all coming. I really do. I really do. Like I said, if you're on Facebook, post to your page, send it in the DM to about 20, 30 people, right? If you watching this on YouTube, send a link out to somebody who you know enjoys knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right, I'm Brother Faheem, a Lead with Logic podcast every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll see me doing my thing, taking the mundane, the controversial, sensational, and through qualitative, right? Books, literature, peer-reviewed journals, articles, interviews, documentary clips, extracting that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that we can live life in 3D and our enlightenment can be enhanced and we can make better and more intelligent decisions, right? I want to show y'all this. Caroline Wanga, right? I saw where she made a speech. This is something that people were saying. This was a reason why people were saying, well, one of the reasons why people were saying they really didn't rock out with her. But I want you to listen. I'm just going to play her portion. But now, the person whose page this is on, you see she's labeled her a tether, right? She's labeled her a tether. But now it reads, the Kenyan CEO of Essence, Caroline Wenger, tried to poison the minds of Black Americans at the Essence Festival because now that lineage-based policy is on the move, Black Americans will question why a Kenyan is running Essence. She is obviously threatened by this. Now I want you guys to listen for yourselves and you tell me what she meant. You tell me what you got out of that.
All this BS about African versus U.S. Black versus Caribbean Black versus Canadian Black versus Antarctica Black. I don't have facts to prove that. We everywhere. Arctic Black. We buy any car.
Selling your.
If you don't have a paid subscription to YouTube, you can dig what's happening.
If you allow that narrative to exist within you, you're participating in dismantling who we're supposed to be in this world, y'all. Rich and I are no less dedicated to the Black community in the US than we are to the Black community in Africa and in the Caribbean and in Europe. And the fact that our descent is African and your descent might be different does not mean that we can't represent all. And we're not fighting for all. And we keep letting this narrative exist in the world. I told y'all this is me. If you were calling me, this is how it would come out, y'all. And I'm going to tell you why I'm triggered on that in a second. Anybody can believe what they want to believe. What I need the world part of this to do is to proactively dismantle the part of that conversation that is about if you ain't a Black, I certify you don't deserve to help make Black better.
This is where the Black.
I'm gonna play that last part one more time. Just the very last thing she said.
Make Black better. is to proactively dismantle what I need the world part of this to do is to proactively dismantle the part of that conversation that is about if you ain't a Black, I certify you don't deserve to help make Black better.
She said what I need the world population to do, right? Is to dismantle this whole belief that if you ain't Black, you don't deserve to make Black better. That's pretty heavy. That's real heavy, actually. Let me interpret what she was saying. To all my people who love to shout FBA. To all my people who love to shout FBA. I'm going to do my Dr. Umar thing. For all my people who love to shout FBA. Check this out. Stop criticizing unjustly, right? Stop acting as though just because I might not be from the continent of America and I'm African, that I cannot help or that I do not want to help. Because I've been in places and spaces, both in real life and online, where petty, mediocre, minute, trivial things would cause people who call themselves FBA to now begin to unjustly and with no evidence, with nothing to show and prove, condemn those people just because they don't identify, just because culturally they might not be from America, right? As if people have not married into the African community globally, right? That's both African Americans into African and Africans into African Americans, right? You see what I'm saying? That's ignorant. For me, y'all can put in the chat what you got from that, because whoever that person Nas was, and that wasn't Nasir Jones, that wasn't the MC Nas, that was a person from Twitter, from X. And he's calling her a tether. He's saying she has a problem. But her message was, let's work together. Her message was, if you own that, I'm this, you that bullshit, then you tearing us apart. How's that a tether? See, that's what I'm saying. You become a rebel without a cause. A rebel without a cause is just a devil. And I always say this to any group claiming anything. If you can't show me a charter, if you can't show me a brick and mortar, if you can't show me where your people are making money, if you can't show me experience and history, if you can't show me a record where I can go somewhere and talk to someone and feel something tangible, if you just talking, then you a fucking joke. You a joke. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna laugh and keep scrolling, because I could be doing something better. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. You just a gaggle. You just gaggling out there. You just talking for what? Not based on anything but your emotion. The only man and woman that feels their way around the world, that uses their feelings to move around the world, is a blind man. I'm gonna say that again. The only person that moves around the world primarily based on their feelings is a blind person. Only the blind feel their way around. Those with sight use their logic. In fact, they lead with logic. Absolutely. Delineation. And listen, I understand that, right? I understand why some of them say delineating, because the flip side of the coin is there are some ignorant Africans. Oh, yeah. Many of them are ignorant. Yep. Many of them are just as ignorant as they would condemn the Black American to be. And it's sad because they don't know it. Yeah. So that two things can be true at once, right? Two things can be true at once. I'm not trying to, I'm being balanced, equal here, right? But in regards and in the context of what we're talking about with Essence and what we're talking about with Mr. Dennis and Miss Wanga, I haven't seen where there's any cultural appropriation. If y'all have, by all means, put it in the chat and we can discuss it. But I haven't seen anywhere where they've done anything wrong, where they have done anything. And I wasn't at Essence. I didn't go. I'm not going to lie to you like I did. But I can read the reports. I can listen to the interviews. I can look at the fact and the data and come up with an intelligent conclusion as to just what happened. I would love to hear y'all's. Let me look at some of these. Black Enterprise. That's absolutely one. Black Enterprise was later, Ice. Later on, Black Enterprise. Not like in the 80s, in the early, maybe in the 90s, but in the 80s, it was just Essence, Ebony, and Jet. You know what I'm saying? Yes, have you? Once put, definitely sounds like delineating a race of people because of hate. There you go. There you go. That's exactly what it is once. It's that whole delineating ideology, right? Hey, we're gonna get away from these people. They not like us. That's why they not like us. They not like us. That's what the song says, right? They not like us. Now let me give you this, right? Because I'm giving y'all, we rolling today. I'm liking this. We are rolling. I'm giving y'all all of these articles that I'm giving you guys. You guys can look them up for yourself, right? Y'all can look them up for yourself, and you will see. You'll see for yourself. You will see for yourself what is going on. Let me see. Is that it? No, that's not it. Hold on. That's not it. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, because I had a little something on that sister. Hold on. Where's she at? Y'all can stay put, but I'm trying to see what this article is about. Well, you know what? Hey, that's all right. I might have misplaced it, but that's okay. That is okay. Wait. All right, I got another one. I'm gonna come down with a bit of light. like Daddy Rich said on Car Wash. I'm gonna bring down a little bit of light. Now, this article is from Ebony. Now, let me put this out there, right? I'm not a huge Ebony fan. Ebony told their ass with me, and I'm gonna show you why. They did. They told their draws with me. Ebony did. I really didn't appreciate something they did. That doesn't mean that this article is not relevant and divine, meaning right and exact. It just means I don't really appreciate something that Ebony did. I'm gonna show you. But nonetheless, this is Ebony. This is online. I want to say Ebony is online now. Y'all know I need my specs, my Malcolm X's, right? So this is on the 10th, right, of July, when the 2025 Essence Festival of Culture started last weekend in New Orleans. It was precisely what it has always been: a homecoming, a cultural pilgrimage, a sanctuary, like I like to say it, of Southern-rooted Black joy. But for many attendees, in a sea of vibrant Blackness, a familiar tension made its way to the surface. Festival goers took to social media to voice concerns about a myriad of production issues, including what felt like an erosion of the festival's Black American focus. The presence of more Pan-African inclusion left some feeling sidelined in a space historically cultivated by and for Black Americans, particularly descendants of slavery in the American South. TikTok creator Deja Janae captured this sentiment in a widely shared video. Instead, it becomes a space that uplifts everyone else, Africans aside from Black American heritage. That shift is starting to feel really intentional. More criticisms quickly spiral, with the loudest voices spewing xenophobia. Essence Fest used to be a celebration of Black American culture, the culture that is ours, the culture that we built from the ground up, the culture in Black American, the cultures in Black Americans influence the world through has now been co-opted by a bunch of Africans. A bunch of Black Americans are not feeling it. Africans don't set culture for this world. We do. Until Essence Fest gets back to the Black Americans who created it and founded it and lead the culture, it will continue to fall with those Africans in charge, said digital media entrepreneur Rob Smith on TikTok. I would say this to Rob Smith. Jay-Z, Sean Carter said a beautiful thing on his song Lost One. He said, I heard motherfuckers saying they made Hove. Made Hove say, okay, so make another Hove. Hey, if we made Essence, let's make another Essence. I mean, if it's like that, let's make another one. We built it up initially, right? Well, then you should make another one. That's my that's my attitude with all people who are involved or who are integrated into a corporation that's other than their own. That's everybody. That's NBA, NFL. Listen, if you gonna work inside of something, get what you came to get and go head on. If you don't like it, leave and create your own. Because see, here's the thing. Essence ain't owned by Black Americans no more. If it was that much, brother, you should have bought it. That's the truth. See, you people crying online, put your money together. Put your money where your mouth is. Puffy, Byron Allen, and Tyler Perry. Remember that? Remember they were trying to buy BET. Did Black folks, did y'all get around that? Did y'all say, hey, we can get a GoFundMe? Did y'all say, hey, we want to make sure this happens? No. See, if you ain't putting up no bread, no value, if you ain't doing shit besides hollering Black power, you should shut up. Yeah, you should be quiet. That's what I think when I hear shit like that. See, because we don't own it, but we had the opportunity to own it. Because remember, I read to y'all, Essence was owned by white folks. It wasn't owned by Black people. A Black Liberian American man came in and bought it. You had the opportunity to buy it. What were you doing? By the end of the Essence Festival of Culture, which was celebrating at its 31st year of production, the calls for accountability and cultural specificity turned into a heated debate across social media, podcasts, and op-eds, with some calling out xenophobic undertones and others standing firm on the importance of protecting sacred cultural ground. Sorry, y'all, my eyes. I need some more carrots. But it raised a deeper question. Is there only room for one version of Blackness in spaces created to honor the full range of the Black diaspora? Very interesting. I'm going to read that again. Is there only room for one version of Blackness in spaces created to honor the full range of the Black diaspora? Listen, whoever you are watching out of you six, whatever you think about Essence and what it was and what it and how it looked, ownership is always important. Do you remember the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington? Put a 1 in the chat if you remember the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington. Why am I mentioning American Gangster? It was a scene where Frank, Denzel, he sees the woman he ends up marrying, right? They shake hands. He says, why you call it, I think it was Mr. Biggs or Frankie's. He said, baby, when you own it, you can call it whatever the hell you want. And she smiled. She understood that. When you own something, you can have up there whoever you want. It doesn't matter. Yeah. See, that's the uncomfortable truth that a lot of these people don't seem to understand. That brother is helping Black entrepreneurs from all over the diaspora. So what if he got a few African acts in there? Your asses are listening to African music on the radio daily, jamming out to it. So you get to a festival that is economically been hit and don't see no people, and now all of a sudden Africans are to blame. That's foolish. I'm a music lover. I love Bob Marley. I love Tim's. I love Buju Banton. I listen to all of them. I rock with all of them. Damian Marley, right? Busta Rhymes is Jamaican. AZ is Dominican, right? Jimi Hendrix had white band members. Stan Getz. You dig what I'm saying? My ears are international. And I'm going to tell you something. Soul knows no race. It knows no ethnicity. What's from the heart gets to the heart. But that's I'm just responding to what these people are saying here. But it gets better. This is a great article on Ebony. The Party with a Purpose. Since 95, Essence Festival of Culture organizers declared the event as a living, breathing expression of Black culture. It's a praise break wrapped in a protest. It's a love letter to a people who endured the Middle Passage, survived Jim Crow, pushed through redlining, and still had enough strength to turn struggle into song. But during this weekend, people raised concerns about the core narrative being stretched in favor of Pan-Africanism. Social media lit up the accusations that Black American culture, especially that rooted in the Deep South, was being allegedly deprioritized by Essence's owner, Richelieu Dennis, and President CEO Caroline Wenger, both first-generation African immigrants. Wenger recently went public that she's been on leave from her role and had no insight into planning this year's programming. Then there was the chatter of some African voices dismissing Black American culture identity of lacking depth of tradition. That kind of talk from anywhere in the diaspora is dangerous. It questions the validity of Black American identity itself and suggests that there's only room for one version of Blackness to be legitimate. That's a lie. At Ebony, we have celebrated a spectrum of Black voices for nearly 80 years. You damn right they have. And you have too, brothers and sisters. You have been listening to artists who were not just Black American. Some of your favorite artists are not Black American, and you just don't know it. Right? However, the xenophobia between Africans and Black Americans is nothing new. Dr. Fode Darbo unpacks these tensions in his research, African and African Americans, Conflict, Stereotypes, and Grudges. While sharing common ancestry and skin color, Africans and African Americans are separated by myths, grudges, and ignorance. Darbo writes that there exists a simmering hostility and misunderstanding between African immigrants and African Americans, often shaped by stereotypes, cultural disconnects, and mutual misreads. I'm going to say that again. Simmering hostility and misunderstanding between African immigrants and African Americans, often shaped by stereotypes, cultural disconnects, and mutual misreads. This quiet tension has shown up in schools, communities, and now at one of the most significant gatherings to Black life and culture in the world. I did a bill. What y'all don't know, those of you all who are new to Lead with Logic, y'all can see my pretty face now, but before you could only hear my baritone, butter smooth voice. But I did a bill. Me and the missus went to we went to a party. Well, early on, right? Early when we hooked up, it was always an argument when we would go out, right? It got to the point where she would tell me, you know, why are you doing this? These people are ignorant. Why are you talking to them? But the last one I had to discuss online because it was out it was out of nowhere, right? Uh and it's just like it was just like Darbo was saying, the psychologist. It was a misread. It was a seething hostility. And you know, one thing I don't like to do, brothers and sisters, I don't like to generalize. That's not me, right? As soon as you generalize, as soon as you say, why do men do this? Why do women do that? Why do black men do this? Why do black women do that? Why do black people do that? You've automatically put all black people on the defensive. Now there's a wall up. Now there's no room for communication because you are talking at me. You have taken your personal experience and made it an objective fact when really that's an objective truth. I mean, you've made it a objective fact when really it's a subjective truth. Forgive me. That's something subjective. That's based on your personal experience. That's nothing that you've told. That's nothing that you've seen because we are a monolith. We're not a monolithic people. We vary in perspective, in philosophy, in paradigm. We really vary. We are just as colorful as the rainbow. And I'm not talking about the LGBTQ one. I'm just talking about the one you see in the sky, right? Not a knock to them. But it kind of got, I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. And it kind of pissed me off. And I had to talk about it. But so that's why I said two things can be true. Two things can absolutely be true. Right. And what that brother said, I'm gonna have to read that. Examining the social distance between Africans and African Americans, the role of internalized racism. Somebody need to read that. In 2025, Essence Festival wasn't a failure, it was a mirror. And it showed us something real, that there is still work to do, still conversations to have, still healing to be done. Dr. Tunde Adeleke, hopefully I said that right, director of the African American Studies program at Iowa State University, reminds us that Pan-African ethos urges Black Americans and Africans to revive the old strength in unity philosophy, shape their mutual struggle. I said that wrong. Pan-African ethos urges Black Americans and Africans to revive the old strength and unity philosophy, shape their mutual struggle. In consequence of shared historical and cultural experience, the goal isn't uniformity, it's harmony. I always say this, y'all. You don't have to be in uniform to be in unity. We don't all have to be gods. We don't all have to be Christians. We don't all have to be Muslims in order for us to be unified. We don't. We just don't. That's a very immature and a very myopic perspective. We do not need to be these things. We can still have unity. We can be from different continents and recognize your struggle might be different from my struggle, but it's still a struggle, right? I still feel the pangs of struggle and we can help each other. You are my melanated brother, right? That term African is a term that was created to separate us, right? When you look at Africa, the continent, there are so many different languages. It's ridiculous. There's so many different tribes. It's ridiculous. But we here in America and over on the continent, man, that's something that divides us. No, we are melanated people. We are one, like Frankie Beverly told us, right? Black American culture deserves to be honored without interrogation. Fact. African and Caribbean culture deserves celebration without overreach. Another fact. And we, the global Black family, deserve spaces where we can come together, not as strangers, but as kin. Complicated, courageous, and committed to doing the work. Because no one wins when the family feuds. Another Jay-Z sample, right? But when the family listens, that's when we all rise. Yeah. I'm gonna have to read that article because that's pretty dope, and it's pretty heavy, pretty damn heavy, pretty heavy. I lost the what do you call it? Let me see all the ones. I lost the. We're gonna go to the comments. Y'all continue to comment. I lost the Caroline Winger what I had on her, but I know she worked for Target, and that was suspected why a lot of people don't like her. Right, number one, she wore her African garb to Essence Fest. She was out there. She showed up with it on. Number two, she worked for Target. Many people suspected that they didn't appreciate her working for Target. That was another reason why people were saying that they were targeting her in the way that they were targeting her, right? Let me see. Yep, founded in 1970. You talking about Essence. Mystic says, my area throws an African American Heritage Festival annually. Yes. Yes. And if they don't throw one, typically they throw one in all big cities, but if they don't throw one, it'll be easy for y'all to go to your different go to your township, go to your county, get together and say, hey, we want to have one. Fund it. Figure out how much it go to the different banks, go to the different businesses, especially the small businesses, the bigger ones too, but the small ones, I say that because they might be a little bit more akin to your cause and what you're trying to do. And it might start small. A lot of festivals start at libraries in a room and they grow up to be huge festivals that can consume whole parks. So it's definitely worth attending and worth creating if you have the determination to do that. See, we got the one. Y'all remember American Gangster? One. Chris Cross remembers American Gangster. One. Mystic remembers Ralph. Yep. That's right. Biggie's Jamaican. Biggie is Jamaican. 444. That's his best album, in my opinion. Wasn't she the head of DEI? Was she the head of DEI? I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if she was. That could be another reason that people are boycotting. That could be another reason people are doing what they're doing. But I know she did work at Target. I know she worked at Target. Yeah, I know she did. But there again, she didn't own it. Right? She didn't own Target. You know, a lot of people, let me say this. A lot of people, like I respect the hell out of Charlemagne the God overall. He's written books that I have to read. He has great commentary. He's very, very honest and transparent and loyal to being a fair and just journalist. But now there are times when Charlemagne the God absolutely spews some democratic bullshit that I don't agree with. But I don't say he's a scumbucket because of that. I say, well, he's a employee that has to propagate his employer's motive operandi, what their objectives and their goals are. If he's to receive that salary, he has to now be the spokesperson for it. And what I'm saying, Chris Koss, if she had some kind of position at Target, she didn't have that much power. Because I think I remember seeing where I read around the time that whole DEI thing happened at Target, a majority of the black people were the workers. They weren't the C-suite executives. Right? The black people work at Target out on the floor at the retail shop. They're not making the decisions. So even if she is a C-suite, she's surrounded by people that are other than her, that are probably pressuring her. And it's not hers. It's not hers. What I'm trying to tell you all, brothers and sisters, is get out of this mentality that if you don't own something, that you get to run it. You get to dictate policies just because, regardless. This again, another movie, another film reference, right? Black Enterprise, 1970. My bad, Ice. I see you. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Bugging out. He went into Sal's pizzeria and was gonna order Sal to put some black faces up in the pizzeria because black people primarily patronized his Italian store. And when Sal refused, that's when all the hell broke loose. Now, as a child, when I watched that, I said Sal was a sucker. Sal should have put up the black people. What the hell? All these black people giving Sal money. What was Sal thinking? But then when I got older and really paid close attention to it, I said to myself, Sal was in the right. That was Sal's establishment. You don't like who I got in my establishment, then create your own. But you don't get to come in here and move furniture around just because you're spending money. It don't go like that. Where they do that at? Nah. You have two choices. You can either get with it or you can get lost. Create your own. See, it's easy for us to complain about what we're not getting somewhere we do not own and control and fund. And I'm not talking about going there, funding, spending your money as far as them giving you the service. I'm talking about fund being a stakeholder. I'm talking about fund being a donor. I'm talking about fund being an investor. If you have none of those titles, then you do not get to dictate policy. And if you work there at a high level, we'll pay you because maybe you have a degree. Maybe you have the know-how to do something that we don't know how to do, but you still don't have that large degree of power. That's what I'm saying about her. So even if she was the head of DEI at Target, what power does she really have? But I wanted to show y'all something. I told y'all I didn't like just real quick. I told y'all I didn't fool with Ebony. Peace, Worm. I see you, killer. Man, I got number love. Worm, we gotta talk, bro. It's been too long. I'm proud of you, boy. I'm super proud of you. Yeah, we gotta talk, man. This is when I stopped. This is when I stopped messing with Ebony. This is when I stopped fooling with Ebony. I was officially done with Ebony when they did this. I said, yup. Ebony is now on the toilet roll in the bathroom. Ebony now, I now dub Ebony paper that I wipe my ass with. When they put Bill Cosby on the cover and cracked the glass before anything had even been proven, I said, yeah, that's toilet paper worthy. That's toilet paper worthy. As many times as he's been in Ebony, as much money as he's given to black HBCUs, as much time as he has spent with black media. Now, I'm not saying that you have to automatically say he's innocent, but you do have to give him due process. If you can't do that, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to come around me. Or if you do, spare me the pro-black talk, because I'm gonna laugh at you. Yeah, spare me the pro-black talk. If you can't even give your brother and your sister due process, you can't even wait for the facts. Yeah, I'm gonna laugh at you. I'm gonna be like the Joker. And here we go. Yeah, so when they did this, when they pulled this stunt, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna start wiping my ass with Ebony. Yep. That's pretty lame. Pretty lame. But yeah. But I wanted y'all to hear. I wanted y'all to hear what the brother had to say for himself. Yes, sir, Worm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's always love, brother. It's always, no matter how long it takes us to talk, brother. You always my big brother. And I'm hoping that you always doing your optimum best. I'm looking for you to be on the news, a mogul. I just got that much love for you, my brother. I want y'all to kind of hear what he has to say, because they addressed it on the Breakfast Club, right? They talked about it. go to it. They talked about him and what these people had to say. And it was quite interesting, right? But I want y'all to hear it. I want y'all to hear it for yourselves. And listen, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate. I see you, Warren. I see you, big dog. I see. I know you're gonna come out when you can. All right, let's see. Let me get it right there for you. Let me get it right. Here we go. All right. Now this is the brother right here, right? This is him talking about it. And I want y'all to let him take the witness stand. And then after this, I'm gonna kind of give y'all my final thoughts on what I think about this whole thing.
This Black African conversation, and that whole thing exploded of like Essence is losing its focus on Black Americans.
Yeah, I mean, those are one of the. I mean, I'd love to hear how you guys think about that, but that's one of those ones that I struggle with understanding intellectually, right? For a host of reasons. Let's just talk about the actual facts, right? So we had, I don't know, 40 plus acts and performers, right? We had one Jamaican act, performer Buju, and we had one African performer, Davido, right? That to me doesn't say that we're losing our center, right? We remain extremely centered on African American culture, right? And on Black women. That's our center. That doesn't mean we can't expand out from our center. All it means is we can't lose our center. So if you were on the ground, if you were there, you see that center is very much there, right? You go into the convention center, right? You look at what happened on the stages, you look at what happened. If you were there, you know that we're still centered, right? But if you were there, you also know that we're growing and that we're broadening, because everybody has to grow or broaden. Otherwise, you won't be around, right? There's also sort of the philosophical approaches to this is I view myself as Black. I've benefited from being Black, and I have also lost from being Black. When I walk in the room, what people see, if they don't know me, when I walk in a room, I walk down the street, they see a Black man, right? My entire life has been dedicated to uplifting Black. I've focused it on the economics, on the economic side of Black, because that's what I know how to do. That's what I'm skilled at. The thing that I've learned from that is we're much better off when we're focused on our commonalities and we're building on those commonalities. As I said earlier, I grew up, King, Garvey, Lumumba, right? That the thinking around, hey, we have a much better chance of developing and growing our communities when we find the commonalities and the alignments, and we're working towards shared goals and shared objectives. When we don't do that, we become much smaller, right? And much more volatile and much more vulnerable.
I can't even believe you took the time to explain that. If
Well,
me,
but, I mean, some
if
people
me,
need to hear.
Buju Banton, and DeVito are walking down the street and a white supremacist see us, guess what he see? Black niggas.
That's it.
What are we talking about here?
Do you feel like, though, with criticisms like that and like, just some of the stuff that you would feel like we're not going to, because y'all took ownership for a lot of things even before the articles hit, right? The things that you're like, this is nonsense, we're not going to take ownership for that. Do you ever feel like it's kind of like unfair? Are you ever hurt by it? Because you do so much centered in Black people, regardless of where they come from.
Yeah. I don't have the luxury of being hurt by it. Right. I think the first couple of times that it happened, there was, I think the first time I was here, and very, very similar circumstance,
Yeah.
right? We did an ad for Shay, right? And that ad had run for months, and they cut it down for social. And the person that cut it down from social cut it where there was it ended. There was a white woman in the front and a white woman in the back, and then
I want y'all to see. I did it at the perfect time. That was divine intervention because I had no idea that was getting ready to happen. But I wanted y'all to see, right? Because a lot of people online are saying that, you know, it was marred by African acts, as if to say there were no other performers. Well, let's figure out. I want y'all to hear who all was there.
the entire year.
But the only other thing that I would say that I did not like is every night at that convention center, well, at the concert when people were performing, I didn't know who was really performing until I got there. And
Right.
you guys had, I mean, think about it. You got Glorilla, Patti LaBelle.
I think we
LL
had the
Cool
best
J,
lineup in the history of
Maxwell,
lineups.
Lauren Hill,
Nas,
Boys to Men,
Boys Men, Dougie Fresh, Babyface, Patti
Bro, it
LaBelle,
was so many
Stephanie
artists.
Mills.
Stephanie Mills.
Sullivan.
It was so
Do you
many
feel like
artists.
that wasn't properly promoted?
But
though?
I
Because
didn't
that was
know
a
until I got
conversation
there.
too.
I didn't know
No,
until I
I-
got there about all those artists. And I feel
Look.
like it would have been a bigger push if you'd have known.
Yeah.
Like, you got to see all those artists in the weekend. You've never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
Old and new, coming up artists. Like, it was a dope show.
That's
See, so I wanted to play that for you guys so that you all could see. There wasn't a shortage of African Americans. There was no push for Africans. Africans aren't taking over anything, right? People are sadly misinformed. Some of that is selective. Some of that is intellectual lackadaisicness or laziness. People not looking into it. People prone to being negative, right? Like that. Mystic said, damn, I should have attended. Some people are prone to being negative. And then there's that seething undertone, like the psychologist said, right? There's this issue that Africans and African Americans have. I absolutely have experienced that. I could tell you guys 1,000,000% that shit is right and exact. It exists. I don't think it's going anywhere. But now, two things that I wanted to show y'all, right? So that there could be no arguing. If you argue, you're going to argue with facts and data, not with Faheem. First, if you don't own something, then you don't have a right to say how it's engaged or exercised. You just don't. What are you saying, Faheem? All of this peanut gallery talking about the Essence Festival is now being run over by Africans. Well, where were your asses when it was time to purchase Essence? When it wasn't in our community? That was your time right there to say, hey, we're going to bring this back. We're going to keep it where we want to keep it. And we're not going to have any African acts. Right? But you didn't do that, did you? There was a person who came in and bought it, and he happened to be Afro-Liberian. And now he's running his business the way he wants to run his business. See, you show yourself to be ignorant when you have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Essence having more African acts. Let me go on record to say that. I do not have a problem with Essence having more African acts. Nope, I don't. Because we now live in a world that is global. We listen to music from all over. We've been listening to global music. And these young people, like the article, like I read, y'all watch it back. They are trying to figure out how to keep that core and yet expand with the youth vanguard. And in expanding and remaining relevant, they're going to have to cater to what the young people are listening to. And young people have a more international ear these days, because really you all do. Right? So, yeah. And the next thing is, again, if you put your dollars together, if you unify your dollars, if you come together economically, you won't have these complaints and these concerns. Right? Because while there is an issue with Pan-Africanism failing, and it absolutely has, let's not now get ridiculous in our criticism. Let's not get to throwing temper tantrum, because a lot of what these people are doing is not even a criticism. It's a goddamn temper tantrum. Money's tighter than it's ever been, like Marvin said. That's why people aren't showing up. It has nothing to do with the guests that were there. You heard that brother in Breakfast Club say they had Nas, they had Patti LaBelle, right? They had Dougie Fresh. They had all of these Black American acts, right? But what people will say is, oh, they had a few other African acts, so now Essence is not putting on for Black people. That's crazy. But again, if you got that big of a problem with it, create your own essence and create your own. Don't cry about what the next person is doing, regardless of what. Because watch this. Again, y'all still support BET, and BET ain't even run by Black folks. That's why you get the programming that you get over there. That's why it's sleazy. That's why you get BET After Dark. That's why you get Colt 45 commercials. That's why you get ass shaking at a premium over there. But you support that. Are you going to boycott? Is BET losing? Is it being culturally appropriated? So yeah, brothers and sisters, if you want to go to the Essence Fest, go on down there. And I think that it's probably with all of these complaints and with attendance being low, you might be able to get down there on a premium. Now you still got to pay for airfare and a hotel. You might have to win a ticket off of you might have to win a ticket on your favorite radio station. This is 103.5. You are caller number 20. What's that song? You know, you might have to win like that, but you know, I'd say go. Why not? I see you, General Rod. Jasper, I see you, big dog. Artistic genius. Chris Cross says, how many people are actually boycotting what they say they boycott anyways? I don't know. Who knows? You're right, Chris Cross. Who knows? It's probably not that many, but I just wanted to come to you guys and give y'all the real, so that y'all can understand that what they're saying is based in nothing. It's based in nothing but hogwash. Or like that character on Harry Potter. I love it. That's my favorite character because of his name, Hogthwarts. That's all it is, man. It's Hogthwarts. But hey, there it is. But yeah, man, listen. But yeah, I just wanted to come to y'all and bring y'all that. Look, I appreciate y'all, man. There was 80 y'all in here, and y'all stayed for the entire time. Put up a 1 if you enjoyed what you heard. Put up a 1 if you enjoyed what you heard. Put a 1 up in the chat if you enjoyed what you heard. I bees in the chat. Bees in the chat. I bees in the chat. Or is it I be in the trap? Oh. Pippin ain't slick and they ain't saying nothing. 100 million. Don't tell me. I bees in the chat. Bees in the chat. I like that song. I'm gonna go listen to it. RB, yeah, 111. Listen. Oh, anyhow, Yeah, I can. Hey, I'll be a bar. I'll be that. I love. Should have ran you down. No questions asked. Chat. Yes, but no, man. Seriously, I appreciate you guys coming out again, man. This is the website. Y'all check me out. LeadWithLogic7.com. Right? Hats, hoodies, and tees, and whatever else you please, man. Get with the movement. I know you guys enjoy knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Who doesn't? Who does not? We all do, because it helps us understand the world. It enhances our enlightenment, and it helps us live in 3D. We can have this thing jump out at us. We're not just clones, right? I love Star Wars Attack of the Clones, but I'm not a clone. I'm a Jedi with the light. You dig what I'm saying? With Darth Vader tendencies. Key said that's my song. Definitely, Chad. But yeah, man. Look, again, like I said, man, as Minister Malcolm would always say, look, may we all meet again in the light of understanding next week, same bat time, same bat channel, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, y'all check me out, leadwithlogic7.com. Listen, if y'all cannot be good, at least be good at it. Peace and love.